Yisrael.
Mishpotecha Yisrael. V'ani brochastecha. Avo beitecha. Eshtachave el echad kodechecha. Be'iratecha. El echad kodechecha. Be'iratecha. Iratecha. Adonai ahavti miyod betecha. Kom mishkan kevodecha. Vani estachave vechra. Livnei Adonai Osim. Bani tfilati Lecha Adonai Es ratzon Elohim Berov chasdecha Haneni be'emet Yishecha be'emet Yishecha.
Welcome from Beit David Center in Johannesburg and Beit Menorah in Pretoria and Beit David in Durban. A special welcome to our morning services here, streamed live from Johannesburg. We're looking forward to spending a meaningful day with you. Please feel free to leave comments in the chat section on the stream, and we will try and keep you up to date on pages as we move along. I'd like to hand over now to Rabbi Shell to take us through this morning's service. Rabbi Shell.
Thank you. Good morning. We stand this day, all of us, in the presence of our God, youth and elders, women and men, those close to tradition and those who have been estranged. All are welcome to this community of prayer. Around the world, all Israel greets this holy day. We stand with them, a people united by our history and fate, linked in mind and heart to generations past, who stood before God to be cleansed of their sins in Russia, Poland, Germany, Spain, Morocco, Brazil, India, and South Africa. Our great-grandparents are here with us today, and our great-great-great-grandchildren as well. All are present in memory and hope. We stand this sacred morning, all of us, as one. Modeh ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam, shechesata bi nishmati b'chemla rabba emunatocha. I thank you, living in eternal power, for returning my soul to me with compassion. Great is your faithfulness. Hareini mekabel mitzvat haboreh ve'ahavta lerecha komocha. I'm ready to take upon myself the sacred charge of my Creator. Love your neighbor as yourself. Once again, good morning to this Yom Kippur day, the Atonement Day. I thank you for forming a holy community with us, supporting not only us, but one another on our journey of self-examination, of embracing who we are, of where we are, where we have failed, but also of recognizing the potential in us to excel, to grow, and to change. Welcome to our friends all over the world, men, women, children, old, young, poor, rich, people who don't identify with any stereotype, and those who are still exploring. This Yom Kippur Day is a day for all of us, for all of you. You are welcome here with us. Before we open our Machzorim to open the prayers for our soul and the daily miracles, I'd like to just remind you that Yom Kippur is a day where we are faced, or where we are asked in our Torah reading to choose between the curse and the blessing, between death and life. And this starts with ourselves. Yom Kippur is a day where we traditionally fast. But if you, for any reasons, health reasons or other reasons, are not able to do so, please don't feel ashamed or guilty if you have to break the fast. Health is the choice God demands from us. We need to choose life. And if this means that you have to, in between, to take medicine, if you have to take a sip of water, please do so. We want that you are safe at home, as we are doing all precautions to be safe here in the sanctuary. We are in it together. Our service opens with Elohai Neshama, a prayer that speaks about the divine gift of life. If you don't have a physical copy of our wonderful silver Machzor, the Mishkan HaNefesh for Yom Kippur, please use the flipbook, which is available on the website of the CCAR. The web link is //MHN-YK. And we begin our service on page 158, 158.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lasechvi binah, lahavchin ben yom uvein laila.
You are the source of blessings, Adonai. Your great power gave the mind discernment to distinguish light from darkness.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach Ivrihim.
You are the source of blessings, Adonai. Your great power opens the eyes that cannot see.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim.
You are the source of blessings, Adonai. Your great power brings freedom to the captive.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufehim.
You are the source of blessings, Adonai. Your great power lifts up the fallen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, rokah haaretz al hamayim.
You are the source of blessings, Adonai. Your great power spreads the land upon the waters.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa li kol tzorkihi.
You are the source of blessings, Adonai. Your great power has made all I need.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaver.
You are the source of blessings, Adonai. Your great power gives firmness to our steps.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumihim.
You are the source of blessings, Adonai. Your great power clothes the naked.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten layaev koach.
You are the source of blessings, Adonai. Your great power gives strength to the weary.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hama'avir sheinei me'einai, utnuma me'afapai.
You are the source of blessings, Adonai. Your great power removes sleep from my eyes, slumber from my eyelids.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, sha'asani b'tzelem Elohim.
You are the source of blessings, Adonai. Your great power made me in the image of God.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, sha'asani ben chorin.
You are the source of blessings, Adonai. Your great power endowed me with human freedom.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael.
You are the source of blessings, Adonai. Your great power has made me Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael begivurah.
You are the source of blessings, Adonai. Your great power gives strength to Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael betifarah.
You are the source of blessings, Adonai. Your great power crowns Israel with glory.
Hallelujah, 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 el Berkocho. Hallelujah, hallelujah, Birkiya Ozo. Hallelujah, Bikurota. Hallelujah, Kerov good Lord. Hallelujah, Beteka Shofar. Hallelujah, ben Nebevechinot. Hallelujah, ben Tofu Machol. Hallelujah, beminim ve'ugav. Hallelujah, hallelujah, betzilzelei shama. Hallelujah, hallelujah, betzilzelei Joah. Kol hanshama tehalelia. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hanshama tehalelia. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
from Morningside to Sydney, from Berlin to Cape Town, from Washington to perhaps Hong Kong. We are all together on our journey today, on our journey through the day of Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, which invites us to look into ourselves and to ask our question, how we can do better. We know that we do a lot in this world which is good, and that we are bringing joy into this world, that we are all walking hand in hand to make this world a place that is worth living for many generations to come. But on this day, we ask ourselves, what can we do better? And one of the main ideas that we have in our prayer book is that we need really to walk hand in hand, that we are not trying to do the task by ourselves, but that we are looking for allies, and that together we can make this little tip on the scale that brings the beauty and the glory of the eternal into this world, back into this world. And so I ask you to join us for the Baruch Hu and then for the Shema, where we bear witness to the oneness of the eternal. If you are able to, please rise. We are on page 178 in our Siddurim, and we will hear the Baruch Hu and the whole section of the Shema by our choir and by friends from Durban and friends from all over the world. Page 178.
והערננו בתורתך, ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחד לבבנו לאהבה וליראה את שמך. והערננו בתורתך, ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחד לבבנו לאהבה וליראה את שמך. ולא נבוש נבוש, ולא נקלל נקלל, ולא נקשר לעולם ועד. ולא נבוש נבוש, ולא נקלל נקלל, ולא נקשר לעולם ועד. הערננו בתורתך, ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחד לבבנו לאהבה וליראה את שמך.
Long ago, in the courtyard of the temple, on the holy day of Yom Kippur, the high priest proclaimed aloud the sacred name of God. And all the people fell to the ground, prostrated themselves and called, "Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever." Millennia have passed, but still we speak these words aloud. Witness forever the truth of God's dominion. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלבתך בדרך, ובשופך ובקמך. וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך. וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, וביש עריך. למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נטע בקודש, נור רק תהילות אוסף אליי.
מלכותך ראו בניך, כי היה לפני משה ומרים, צדיענו ואמרו,
אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צו ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, עובדי חינומך יהודה וישראל, גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל, גאל
In the depth of night, by the edge of the river, Jacob was left alone. We're on page 198. In heartfelt longing in the temple of God, Hannah uttered her prayer alone. In the barren wilderness, in doubt and despair, Elijah found God alone. On the holiest day, in the Holy of Holies, the high priest entered alone. We are bound to one another in myriad ways, but each soul needs time to itself. In solitude we meet the solitary one. Silence makes space for the still, small voice. From the psalmist says, deep calls unto deep. From the depth of our soul, we seek what is most profound. Please rise for the Amidah, which begins on page 198.
Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi agitei latecha. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi agitei latecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'Elohei Imotenu ve'Elohei בספר החיים, וכתבנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים. מלך חוזה ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני,
ברוך שמו.
מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה.
מחכה חיים וחסד, בחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בגבורות, ומי
Today we will call it by its rightful name, a day of dread, Norava Ayom, unwelcome visitor, for we want to live in a sunny world where God is love and all endings are happy. But the drumbeat sounds and the words tumble down and even the angels tremble with fear, for all things are judged and all things will pass and life ends in a heartbeat and death knows our name. At the start of the year in the season of truth comes the day of remembrance for all we forgot and all we deny, and we fall on our knees in the depth of our hearts, for we know that the bells tolls for us. The words are old and the language was theirs, but the call is real and the message is ours. Take hold of your love while you still have the chance, for your story will end and it might be this year in a way you don't know. Take hold of your life, make things right while you can, and don't miss the call of the day of dread.
ונתנה תוקף קדושת היום, כי הוא נורא ואיום, ובו תינשא מלכותך, ויהיה
ותפתח ספר הזיכרונות, ומלף יקרא בחותם יד כל הטעם בו.
ובשופר גדול יתקע, וכל דממה דקה
ותחתוך כזבלך בריאה, ותפתח גזרים, בראש השנה ייכתבו, וביום צום כיפור יחתנו, כמה יברון בך מסכימה. מי ינוח ומי ינוח, מי ישחית ומי יטורף, מי ישלף ומי יתעשר, מי יעני ומי ישיר, מי יושפל ומי ירום. ותשובה ותפילה וצדקה מעבירים את רוע הגזירה, מעבירים את רוע הגזירה.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו. אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושברך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המלך הקדוש. And once again, I invite you all for a short moment of your private prayers. You can use the words of our Siddur until page 250, or just dwell on the inspiration that comes from the divine and which is in your heart. May the one who creates peace in heaven bring this peace to this world. Thank you to our wonderful choir. My dear friends, the refugee experience is one of loss. Loss of family, friends, language, history, culture, work, home. Almost everything known. The journey to find a safe haven involves leaving behind the familiar and struggling with uncertainty, trauma, and angst. Refugees begin new lives in unfamiliar cultures. Many never find that safe haven and are left to wander earth. For those who find sanctuary, many overcome extremely difficult obstacles to shape new lives. The goal of Passover is to connect with this existential reality that we were, in fact, refugees. This task is not easy, as almost all of us live our lives far removed from our historical narrative. However, Yom Kippur is different. It is the time for self-examination, honesty, and personal change. Are we, too, not looking for a safe haven? Are a way to grieve our losses? A way to reshape a meaningful life in a tumultuous and unstable world? The refugee struggles with loss and effort to create life anew, also in this human experience. As we progress through life, we go through many stages. We lose the wonder of childhood. We lose the protection of school environment. We lose the exaltation of first love. We lose dreams. We lose our loved ones. Many lose themselves. We grapple with ambiguity and a lack of clarity about our future, both personally and as a society. And we try to adjust to the fast-changing world around us. Many of us wonder what the future will bring and how we can thrive in it, especially after a year like this one. On a superficial level, today's most Jews have very little in common with refugees. At a much deeper level, we share much because we are humans and we are all connected. On Yom Kippur, we dive deep within to explore the refugees within our own souls, hearts, and consciousness. Like the stirring soul of the shofar, the overarching goal of the high holidays is to alarm us, awaken us to our inner lives, and to help us reconnect to our values, history, ideals, purpose, and sense of self-worth. The liturgy is about evaluating our lives and asking us difficult questions such as, who shall live and who shall die? These are not literal questions, but ones with a far deeper meaning. How shall I live in these turbulent times? How do I infuse my life with meaning even when life did not turn out as I expected it? The journey of life, even in the best of circumstances, for those who wander earth as refugees, is horrifying. Many will never find a safe haven. Many will never have all that we take for granted. Yet, their journeys do not diminish the challenge of our own journeys. We face health issues, personal challenges, loss of loved ones, and a constant state of confusion and tumult in this currently climate, all of which greatly impact us. The refugee experience offers a paradigm of how to grapple with our own challenges. Some refugees end up scared for life, never able to move on from the horrible traumas they survived. Yet, many find incredible ways to build a new life, always carrying the past with them, but living in the present with courage, resilience, and hope. Over the past years, I was fortunate to speak to many refugees, mainly in connection with Temple Israel in Hillbrow. I met people who have taught me a great deal about my own journey on earth and how I can be better and how I can make the most of my life. Meron Semedar, a refugee from Eritrea, shared in an article about him a quote of an African proverb. He who does not know where he came from does not know where he is going. He goes on to say, it is not an easy road, but hope is the oxygen of my life. I have hope in humanity. I have hope in humanity. On Yom Kippur, we pause and withdraw from the world in a day of self-reflection to see where we have been, where we are, and where we might be headed. We read the prophetic word of Isaiah. Is this the kind of the fast I delight in? A fast really to deprive one's body? The answer is an emphatic no. We are told the fast should lead to action, to helping the oppressed, to freeing the shackles of all those enslaved. Freeing the shackles starts with ourselves. What prevents me from being the person I wish to be? What stops me from listening to the prophetic words of Isaiah and integrating them into my own life? Yom Kippur is designed to be a day that fosters humility and honesty. It is a time of finding the best in our nature and not losing ourselves in this tumultuous culture that demeans so many people, which is filled with violence and often offer little hope. It is reclaiming what is good, uplifting, and the best of human nature. Like with Meron, it is finding hope, even when it seems like it has disappeared, and knowing that if we do better, so will humanity. Only through serious self-reflection can we emerge into the new year with a broader perspective, renewed strength, and a deeper resolve to uplift the most vulnerable in our midst. So may this service of our heart open our souls. May we find there the strength to return to our best selves, repairing our world so that God's glory can dwell among us. Gemar Chatima Tova. We continue our service with the so-called Vidui, the confessional prayer service. And if you are able to, please turn to page 292 as we hear the reading. We stand. Page 292.
Vidui Uslichot. We stand in humility, conscious of our failings. Shema Kolenu, Adonai, hear our call. True sacrifice to God is a penitent spirit. You treasure a crushed and repentant heart, for you are close to the broken-hearted, and you give strength to a suffering soul. You are the healer of shattered hearts. You are the one who binds up their wounds. For thus says the high and exalted one who lives forever, whose name is holy. I dwell in a high and holy place, but also with the downcast and lowly, to bring new life to despondent souls, to restore and revive repentant hearts. Return now, Israel, to Adonai your God, for you have fallen because of your sin. Take words with you and return to God. Ask the Eternal, forgive what is wrong, accept what is good. We stand in humility, conscious of our failings. We set before you the wrongs we have done. We trust in your compassion, for you know who we are. Shema Kolenu, Adonai, hear our call.
Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Uz v'chachem aleinu v'kabel berachamim uv'ratzon et tefilatenu. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva, chadesh yameinu kekedem, amarenu ha'azina Adonai, bina ha'gigenu. יהיו לרצונים רפי והיגון ליבנו לפניך, אדוני צורנו וגואלנו. Hear our call, Adonai our God. Show us compassion, accept our prayer with love and goodwill. Take us back, Adonai. Let us come back to you. Renew our days as in the past. Hear our words, Adonai. Understand our unspoken thoughts. May the speech of our mouth and our heart's quiet prayer be acceptable to you, Adonai, our rock and our Redeemer. Do not cast us away from your presence or cut us off from your Holy Spirit. Do not cast us away when we are old, as our strength diminishes. Do not forsake us. Do not forsake us, Adonai. Be not far from us, our God. With hope, Adonai, we await you. Surely you, Adonai, our God, you will answer. Please rise if you are able to and turn to page 296 for the opening of the Vidui.
Eloheinu, v'Elohei Avoteinu, tavol lefanecha tefilateinu, ve'atit alam mitchinateinu, she'en anachnu hazefanim, okse'aref, okse'oref, lama lefanecha, lama lefanecha, Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei Avoteinu, tzadikim anachnu, ve'lo chatanu, aval anachnu
We're in the middle of page 296. Our God and God of our generations, may our prayers reach your presence. And when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, we have stumbled and strayed, and we have done wrong. Nai na nai 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 na 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 nai nai na nai 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 na 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 nai nai na nai 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 na 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 nai nai na nai na 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 Ashamnu Bagadnu, Gazalnu, Dibano dofi, Hevinu, Irshanu, Zahadnu, Hamaznu, Tafanu sheker, Nai na nai 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 Ya'atznura,
Ya'atznura,
Kizavnu,
Kizavnu,
Lahatznu,
Lahatznu,
Maradnu,
Maradnu,
Nihatznu,
Nihatznu,
Zaranu,
Zaranu,
Avinu,
Avinu,
Pashanu,
Pashanu,
Tatzahnu,
Tzaranu,
Kishanu Ohev,
Kishanu Ohev,
Ashanu,
Ashanu,
Shechadnu,
Shechadnu,
Tiavnu,
Tiavnu,
Ta'inu,
Ta'inu,
Titanu,
Titanu,
Nai na nai 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 nai. You may be seated. Please turn to page 299.
For the sin we committed against you through evading and avoiding, because we could not face the truth, for our flight into hypocrisy and deception, because we did not dare to speak it, for the facts we dissembled and all we glossed over, for the excuses we made, for feeding our bodies and starving our souls, for interfering with the souls of others and neglecting their needs, for shifting our responsibilities for reproaches and recriminations, for our foolishness, our folly and false standards, for seeing these things only in others, never in ourselves, for our complacency which blinds us and our self-righteousness which lessens us, for calculating kindness and measuring our pity, for charity that is cold and prayers without feeling, for withholding our love, for the appeals that we ignored and the people whom we refused, for the affection which died and our lives that became bitter, for the visions that faded, the ideals were neglected and the opportunities we lost, for the fear of change and renewal and our unbelief, for saying prayers aloud but refusing to listen, for being our own worst enemy.
Badui for the 21st century. We confess our sins against the earth. We commit ourselves to saving it. We have assaulted our planet in countless ways. We have blamed others for the spiraling, deepening crisis. We have consumed thoughtlessly and irresponsibly. We have driven myriad species to the point of extinction. We have exhausted irreplaceable resources. We have failed to transcend borders and act unselfishly. We have given in to our many appetites and our gluttony. We have harmed beyond repair the habitats of living beings. We have ignored the signs of change in our climate and our seasons. We have jeopardized the well-being of future generations. We have known the problem, but left problem solving to others. We have lost sight of our role as God's partners in creation. We have mocked cynically those who love creatures great and small. We have neglected the environment, most of all in places of poverty. We have overpopulated our cities and overfished our oceans. We have polluted seashore and sky, fertile soil and freshwater springs. We have questioned and doubted solid evidence of danger. We have ravaged the old growth forests, ecosystems created over centuries. We have spewed poison into the bloodstream of our land, its rivers, lakes, and estuaries. We have transformed dazzling beauty into industrial ugliness. We have used shared resources for personal gain and corporate profit. We have violated the commandment, "Do not destroy." We have wasted precious treasures, our God-given gifts. We have exploited the weakest and most vulnerable in our midst, and yet we yearn to be better guardians of this earth and the fullness thereof. Let us be zealous now to care for this unique corner of the cosmos, this planet, our sacred home.
Pages 308 to page 315 are an invitation to be read as a starting point for our own cheshbon hanefesh, our soul search and confessional prayer. May the words guide you. We will continue in approximately 3 minutes after our private reflections on page 317. Page 308 to 315, now for you. Shema Kolenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hear our call, Adonai Eloheinu, and may we hear yours in our apologies and confessions, in the meditations of our heart, in the accounting of our soul. Hear our call, and may we hear yours in words of counsel and consolation, in the silence of one who listens, in the strength of a hand that upholds. Hear our call, Adonai Eloheinu, as we strive to hear yours on this day of the heart, this day of repair and healing. We will now turn to Avinu Malkeinu on page 252, which serves as a bridge, as the opening on our path to the second part of our morning service, which will begin at 11:30. So if you are able to, please rise for Avinu Malkeinu, our plea to the Eternal to hear us and to inscribe us in the book of life. Page 252.
Avinu Malkeinu.
this special time with people from all over the world. I've just got a few of the places. I mean, we've got people listening from Australia, the US, Italy, London, Indonesia, France, Israel, and of course Cape Town and my hometown of Benoni. So lovely to share with all of you today. I would like to invite you to come back to our services at 11:30, and then of course we got study sessions from 1 o'clock. So please join us again then as we continue at 11:30 with Avodah and Torah services. Thank you.